Rocks, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another entry into the Diva Diaries. So today we're back with another self-care episode. I have not done a self-care check-in in a minute, but if you're new here, I have a playlist with a couple self-care episodes, a couple routines, just a couple things, but it's been a while since I did a self-care episode. So when I was thinking about this video, I was to switch it up a little bit and talk about the 4 books that I read in May and just some lessons, some self-care lessons that I learned from reading these books, or just a couple self-care things that came up or I thought about while I was reading these books. So if you're interested in this video, keep on watching, make sure you're subscribed. This is not going to be like a book review. I am new to the book world, okay? You guys know I was reading a couple self-help books a couple months ago, but I wanted to switch it up because I found that I wasn't getting, it was taking me months to get through these books. So I decided, you know what, I wanted to read something else. So when I started thinking about it and I checked online and I was looking at a couple, not reviews, but recommendations, I went ahead and started with one of the books that I saw everyone was talking about, and it was Kennedy Ryan, Before I Let Go. So that was a popular one around March, April. So I decided, you know what, let me give that one a read. And from there, I end up finishing that one in the first week of May and reading 3 more books in May. I'm beyond proud of myself for even reading that many books, but since I'm new, and they were all good reads, so since I'm new, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do a book review, but I still want to share the books that I read. Again, I will insert pictures of the books, but I'm just going to talk about the books collectively and some self-care lessons that you can learn from reading these books. So we're going to finish up my skincare while we talk about these books. I have a couple new products that I want to try. So this is not so much of a skincare routine. I'm going to apply this Fenty. It's a sample size of their cookie and cream scrub that I've had now for a few months. I want to try it out, see how I like it, and then I can purchase it later on if I actually love it, because tonight I'm doing my exfoliating routine because I didn't do it last night. I was supposed to do it last night. So back to the books. When I was scripting this video and trying to come up with the concept and everything, I saw that books supposed to help you with even your blood pressure. I was like, why nobody told me this a long time ago? But books are really, I know that reading is a form of self-care. I just felt like I never had time to read or figure out a way to dive into reading. Like, I'm not gonna be reading all the different genres, but I will dibble and dabble in a few different ones as the next couple months go on. But yeah, books are a really good form of self-care if you're into that stuff. So it's just nice to be able to dive into the books and almost forget like your real life situation at the same time. But for me, when I was reading, I was more thinking of how these relate to real life situations. Like, I know the book is a fantasy, it's made up, fake characters and all that, but I still want to think about like how it relates to everyday life. All right, so all 4 books that I read were all Black romance novels. Now you might be saying, okay, but are you only going to be reading Black authors? That is no, but I feel like what better way to not only start and get into like reading in general, but also I want to read something that I can kind of relate to. I might not know or been in the exact same situation that these characters have been in, but what I always say this, what better way to tell our story but by us? Like, nobody else can relate to us. And what I loved about these books was the fact that it wasn't just, okay, yes, there was some spice, there was sex and all that stuff, but the story, the way they set up the scenes, the school they went to, the neighborhoods they lived in, the jobs that they worked, like everything was rooted in pretty much Black culture, and I love that about the book. So that is the first reason that I was like, okay, I want to support and read Black romance novels. And of course, again, I will venture out later on, but I just felt like that was a great way for me to get into reading. And see, now I am hooked. I am hooked, and I'm probably going to be reading as many more Black authors as I can read, not just in romance, but obviously I started with that. I am able to relate in some way or some form the characters in the book, as well as the journey that they're on. Like, you see similarities in the way your parents was, in the way you were raised, in the way where they can truly give themselves to each other. And I think it was the same thing with This Could Be Us. I'm not gonna go too deep into the story because I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it was kind of similar in that way as well, where she went through relationship issues. I'm trying not to say too much, but she went through a relationship, but after that, her taking that time again to discover herself, to fall in love with herself, to see what she can do by herself before she 100% committed to somebody else. With the next book, Only for a Week, again, it was the same thing. She was successful, she was a doctor, but none of that really mattered because she had to learn about herself and loving herself and all appreciating herself before she could really get to the other side. And the last one I read, which was the last one I read, which was Somebody's Wife, was again successful Black woman, but again having to fight those demons and get to a place where she can love herself. So again, all 4 books touched on it in some way, and they had to discover that. So before we can give ourselves fully to any situation and be there for the people we want to be there for in the right way, we have to learn to love ourselves. So that's number 1. Number 2, I have addressed this before in a video, but I'm gonna touch on it again: setting boundaries. This is one of the most important things you can do on your self-care journey. This is literally the first thing the first thing is starting to love yourself and starting to put yourself first. To me, the second thing is setting boundaries. And it's as simple as that. You have to set boundaries in all your relationships. Whether you're in a romantic relationship, whether you're set boundaries with your family, with what you do for them, how much you do for them, can you do it for them, the way they talk to you. Like, you have to set boundaries, personal space, the time for yourself. There's a whole, I'll link the other video that I did about setting boundaries, but you have to learn to set boundaries. And I found that I think all 4 books, or at least 3 out of 4, had to deal with that a lot. Setting boundaries, whether it was with their family, their friendships, their spouse, their exes, all the things. So I love that these books are touching on those topics, because even though you might not be in the exact same situation, maybe you'll see how this person dealt with it in the book fictitiously and that will help you in your situation, because it gets you to thinking, it gets you motivated, it gets you like, oh wait, I didn't even realize that I do that in real life. I allow that in real life. And you have to set those boundaries. Number 3 that I wrote down is just healing and forgiveness. There was a lot of that in all of the books in different ways. Before I let go, oh man, they've been through some things. They've been through some losses, financially, emotionally, family. They've been through some things. They hurt each other, so they had to learn how to forgive. And same thing with This Could Be Us. Same thing, a lot of healing there. Most of it was her healing herself and, you know, everything that she's been through. Because a lot of times when we get in relationships, you hear people say a lot, they lose themselves because they get so focused on the other person, their dreams and everything they want to do, that they lose sight of what they want to do and the things they were good at, the things they enjoy. So yeah, there was a lot of healing in that one as well. Only for a Week. there was some family trauma there. She had to learn how to deal with her family, and I love the story of that. I love the story of that. So that one is a must read in my opinion. Again, just read all 4 books, honestly. But yeah, I love that because there's a lot of times when we have to remember that when we forgive, we're not always forgiving the other person for their sake. You're forgiving for your sake because you're holding on to this pain and this hurt that they did, that you're just miserable. Every time you see this person, you're just miserable. Every day you think about it, you're just miserable. It's hurting you. It's messing up your mental, your physical, your mood, your everything. It was one thing that I learned early on that I didn't even realize was self-care. Was saying that, you know what? I forgive them for what they said. I forgive them for what they did. And now I can move on with my life. And one more thing on forgiveness is forgiving yourself. I was watching this girl that I know. She was live on TikTok and she had like a therapist on her live, and they were talking about forgiving yourself for childhood trauma, things you did when you were a teenager, things you did as a young adult. If you don't forgive yourself, you're gonna just keep bringing it with you as you go on into this current day or future because you keep thinking about that thing. Let me rinse my face off. There is a lot of that in the books where it's just focused on, okay, yes, I like you and I enjoy your company, but I have to deal with the things that I'm dealing with first before I can truly be who you think I can be. Like, outside of the fun and all the spice and all the things, like, if I don't heal, I cannot be a good wife to you. I cannot be a good girlfriend to you. I cannot be a good mother, like, all those things. So I love that the book also focused on that to an extent to where healing was important and forgiveness was also important. I have 2 more points that I want to make to close this video out because I don't want to make it too long. Hold on, let me make sure this felt good. This was super gentle. It's a mask, or what is it called, like a cookie scrub, but this was very gentle on the skin, so that's something I would definitely buy. Alright, that's all I'm gonna do is wipe that off. Number 4 that I loved about this book is the fact that they showed a lot of characters pursuing their dreams and passions. As someone who sometimes self-sabotage, just using serum next, so bright you can't even see, but it's this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow drops. As someone who self-sabotage, and you guys know I'm on this journey of being a content creator and everything, I love that this book shows people pursuing their passions, wanting to open up a business, opening up a business and dealing with the ups and downs of that. Like, one of the books had her becoming like a content creator, and because she loves to cook or make some type of recipe, and that became her character. So I could see myself, even though I wasn't dealing with the situation of what led to her getting to where she was, I can still relate to an extent of just the creating content and her setting up the tripod. Yeah, these books get very detailed with like the setup of the situation. So it's not just, oh, she's a content creator. No, they talk about going live and what she said in the live, like stuff like that. You can relate. But I love seeing women, Black women, go after their dreams, their passions, because I can see a little bit of myself in there, and that motivate me to just kind of keep going. So that leads me to number 5. The only thing I left to do, look at the glow. Look at my skin right now. That is just from this. Woo. Alright, so we're down to the final point that I wanted to make. Number 5, the 5th lesson that you can learn from reading Black romance novel books is the importance of systems and communities. Now, I tell you guys all the time that I kind of struggle with this a little bit, with friendships, with community, with asking for help, with depending on others, just all the things. I feel like I've done so much self-care work on myself that it makes me want to do it all on my own. Like, I don't need anybody. But then you realize, and I told you guys this in a vlog as well, that when I was doing some of my Bible study, it was focusing on community and the people around you, and I'm like, why? But I get it. I do get it. You need people. You need someone you can count on, whether it's a friend or a family member, a sibling, somebody you can count on. For me, I probably could do it more, but I also rely on like my mom, my sister. Those are two people I talk to the most outside of my husband. But I love that these books not only show the good of the friendships or the family, but it also shows some tough love. Like, there were times when the friend had to say, look, you're self-sabotaging. You're the reason this relationship is not working out because you're being stubborn. And that is so true. Like, sometimes you need someone there to just give you a little tough love for you to be like, you know what, you're right. And there was another one where it was like, go get him. Like, I know you're trying to wait till you're done working on yourself and everything is perfect and you feel like you can't do anything, but no, you can have some fun too. Go get that man over there. So I love that community of all the characters. I'm trying to think back because this could be us, and Before You Let Go focus on 3 girlfriends, and 2 of the books are on 2 of the girlfriends, so they're gonna come out with the 3rd friend story next year. But yeah, a lot of them talking and working through things. Only for the Week, it was about family as well, but her real like person that was pushing her was the person she was in the relationship with or having the little situationship with. Somebody's wife, she also had friendships there as well. So yeah, I love that they show that, because you do need people, not only in the good, but also in the bad. Somebody to kind of just push you, whether it's to your dreams or towards that relationship that could potentially be something great. So yeah, those are my 5 self-care tips, lessons that I feel like you can learn from reading Black romance books. Obviously, every book will have their own lesson and own scenario. Let me know if you've read any of these books or if you plan on reading any of these books. And I hope that some of these self-care tips can really translate into your everyday life. Like I said, I might not be exactly where those characters are at the moment. I've been there in some of those situations, and now I can look back and be like, yeah, there were times that I did that thing. So hope you can find a way to bring that into your everyday life by just embracing self-love, self-care, resilience, going after your passion, just all the things. Gonna finish off this skincare routine with my favorite night cream, which is the Fresh Beauty Lotus Reserve night cream. As you can see, I already have that glow, so I really don't need a lot, but just to top it off. And that's my skincare routine for now. Don't worry, I will go more in depth on some skincare routines coming up soon, but I just wanted to do something while I chit chat and tell you guys about the books I read in May. So we're in June now. I already read 1 book and I'm on the 2nd one, so we have been busy. But overall, out of the 4 that I read in May, honestly, I think they're all must read in their own different way. So let me know which one you're gonna check out. Let me know what self-care tips or lessons you've learned from reading a book. And yeah, be sure to check out my self-care playlist as well, where I touched on a few different topics. So I hope you guys will like that as well if you have never seen them. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give your girl a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.